I had no idea that moose was something people actually eat. Having lived most of my life in Arizona and a little bit of time in California, it's just something I had never been exposed to, heard of, until I moved to Alaska. I was cleaning up my freezer recently and found these 2 moose steaks in there that I completely forgot about. I got them defrosted and I am going to cook these up today and see how they taste. I have heard from others that moose is comparable to beef. People cook the steaks like they would a beef steak. You can grind it up into hamburger and eat it that way. You can have a roast and cook a moose roast. So I'm super excited to try this. Now, I did not hunt this moose myself, nor did my husband. Kind of a funny story how I got my hands on this moose, but I'm super stoked to try it today. So I have a neighbor whose husband is an avid hunter. When she learned that I had a freeze dryer, she asked me if she could pay me to use my freeze dryer so she could freeze dry a lot of her overflow freezer storage of moose meat and things like that. I was happy to let her use my freeze dryer. I just said, how about instead of paying me, you pay me with some moose meat? We would love that. So she happily agreed. She gave us those moose steaks and a couple moose roasts, which we'll have to cook up in a future video. That's how I got my moose. So I did a lot of research on the best way to prepare your moose steak, and my favorite way to cook beef steak is using a sous vide, where you cook it in a water bath and then sear it afterwards. That's what I am going to do today. I get to use 2 small kitchen appliances that have come in very handy lately. First will be our Avid Armor chamber sealer to get our steaks into vacuum sealed bags that will be ready to cook in the water bath. And then I got a Ninja crock pot sous vide multi-cooker that I haven't even taken out of the box yet. And we are gonna cook this moose in there. We love to sous vide meat. I'm excited to try it out in the multi-cooker because it'll just make things super easy. So I'm just patting my meat dry. And then the only seasonings I'm going to use are some coarse salt, black pepper, and then this is freeze-dried garlic cloves. I'm gonna put these in the bags with the steak just to add some garlic flavor, but I honestly think that's all I'm gonna need. Avid Armor was kind enough to give our community a 10% off site-wide discount code. The information is in the video description below, so if you're in the market for a chamber sealer, be sure to check that out. So as you saw, I have 3 piles of meat. This meat is cut into strips. I don't know if that's gonna be an issue, but I've just kind of squished them together in 3 different piles. I'm gonna put them in 3 different vacuum bags. I'm going to vacuum seal each one of them, toss a few of my garlic cloves in there, and then they'll be ready to go into our sous vide. So the key to successful sous vide cooking is getting a nice airtight seal in your bag, and the Avid Armor chamber sealer is going to do that for us perfectly. So I am just going to open my lid, place my bag in here. There's a little clip you lift up and then clip down. I'm gonna close here. So I'm on vacuum level 1, seal time 1. I think that's fine. We're just gonna hit auto vac and seal. That's my favorite part. We now got an airtight seal for us to be able to cook our moose in the sous vide. We just got 2 more to go. Got my 3 bags of meat. Let's open up my new Ninja slow cooker and figure out how it works. So this is the setup. It's actually quite beautiful. I am very impressed. This is an 8-quart capacity cooker. It even has a little spot for your spoon, which is nice. And it has this little wire rack that you can use for steaming vegetables. These are all of the settings it has. Slow cook, sear, saute, steam, keep warm, sous vide, braise, bake, proof. This thing can do a million things. Are you good at reading directions? I used to always just like throw out the directions and try to figure things out myself, but I have learned that you need to read the directions. Okay, I am going to base this off of like how you would cook a beef steak because I don't know what else to do. And it suggests for flank steak, since this is kind of like pieces, I feel like it's more flank style than like, I don't know. This says rare 125, 130 medium rare, 135 medium, 145 medium well, 155 well done for 2 to 5 hours. I think I'm gonna do 135 degrees for 2 to 3 hours. Since these are not very big, I think that'll be enough time. We'll go from there. Let's hope I don't poison the family. So I've got my power on. I'm turning my setting to sous vide. And temp, I'm gonna do 135. I'm gonna set it for 3 hours. I'm gonna hit start, and then my water is going to warm up. Looks like I need a little bit more. It's got a line right here that says sous vide. That's where it needs to be. I'm just now realizing I can proof my sourdough bread in this thing, which will be great, especially in the wintertime when my house is very cold and my sourdough takes forever to rise. I can use this. I'm so stoked. We have reached temperature and it's telling me to add my food. So now our timer is going. I'll probably be pulling these out around the 2 or 2.5 hour mark just because it's getting late and we want to get dinner on the table. But I will check back in at that time and we'll go to the next step, which will be to sear it, and then all we got to do is eat it. Here's what I'm up to in Alaska this week. It was the annual Bear Paw Festival in Eagle River where there is a carnival and of course funnel cake. We had gorgeous weather for the rides, but when we went to the parade the next day, it was raining, but I love a parade. If there is a local community parade, you bet I'm going to be there. Our kids also got tons of candy and they were thrilled about that. My other favorite thing is shopping. I do want to show you what we bought at the vendors market at the Bear Paw Festival. So we are a major honey loving family and they had a local honey business. They are called Dr. Carson's, located in Wasilla, Alaska. They make their own honey and so excited. So we bought this jar. He said this is the early harvest of honey from this year. That's why it's this darker brown color. Their other honey was a little bit lighter. This was more expensive, but he said it's super good. So we've never had this type of honey before, so we got that one. We also got some bee pollen. This is really good if you suffer from allergies, which my husband does and some of my kids. It's also really good just for the immune system. So we got this. I thought this would be good to sprinkle on to like yogurt bowls and stuff like that. So we're gonna try this out. And then the best thing, when I saw it on their shelf, was not sure if we would like it or like how it would be, but it is heavenly. This is called creamed honey. It's essentially whipped honey and then they add flavorings to it. This one they added vanilla beans to. This is like one of the best things I've ever tasted. I want to figure out how to make it my own, but you can see in the lid like the pieces, it's real vanilla beans that they have in there and it just tastes so good. I put it on my sourdough toast. It tastes like a dessert. It's like a honey flavored frosting almost. It is so good. Don't mind if I do. Heaven. I want to figure out how to make this. Like literally the ingredients are all natural Alaska heavenly honey and Madagascar vanilla beans. That's all that's in this. And it tastes so good. I can't get over it. This was a huge win. If you want to see a comparison to the early harvest honey and normal honey, this is a color comparison. Like this is just regular honey from Costco and this is their special early bird honey. So excited. We did taste it and it's really good. Moose can be known as being kind of a more tough, lean cut of meat. So that's why cooking it in the sous vide, I think, is gonna give us our best results for a nice, tender steak, because it will kick it evenly to temperature and it will be able to render in its own like juices and stuff in the vacuum sealed bags with the flavorings in it. I'm just whipping up my instant mashed potatoes that I freeze dried myself for a side dish. This has been cooking for about 2 hours and 10 minutes. We are gonna get it out and just go for it. Here is how it looks inside the pot. Right here is where I'm gonna sear the meat. I have it heating up. I'm gonna get these out, pat them dry, and then we will get them searing in some butter. These are looking so good. Here is how they came off of my skillet. You got the nice crispy caramelization. These are a little different than a normal steak because remember they were like kind of sliced up, but I think it's all still gonna taste the same. Let's get these plated up and give them a try and we'll be able to find out if it's better than a beef steak. Let's try this steak, shall we? It's a little cooked more than I would usually prefer, but let's see.
Yeah, well, you're on with yours.
Okay, so the flavor is there. I really taste the salt, the garlic, the pepper. Super good. The texture, I feel like, is similar to a beef steak. The taste is a little different, which I mean, obviously it's not the same thing, but I really like it. It's really good. And it's actually super tender. Like, it has such a nice texture in your mouth when you eat it. This really is awesome. So, I think I'm gonna have to say, I don't know if it's better than a beef steak, but I think just as good. I think you might say I enjoyed my dinner. I ate my entire plate. The more I ate it, the more I liked it. That was so good. The thing that I love about sous videing your meats is that it gives it a perfectly even cook. You're not trying to play the game of, oh, is it too rare? Is it too well done? You just set the temperature in your sous vide, your crock pot or whatever, and it will hold that temperature exactly. So they always turn out so good. Then you sear it at the end and get that crispiness and chef's kiss. I am sorry to those of you in the lower 48 that are melting right now with this heat wave that I hear is happening, because I am here in a Sherpa sweater. It's a little chilly tonight. Whenever we have good weather, I like to take this evening walk down my street. It's just absolutely picturesque and gorgeous. And I mean, the wildflowers. Can you even? If you are interested in that foodie ninja possible cooker is what it's called. Mine is the 8.5 quart size. I purchased mine from Costco. It was $99 and I think I paid a $6 shipping fee because they did not have this in my store in person. So that's an easy way to purchase it. But I did notice on Amazon right now when you're watching this video, it is on sale for $108, which is basically with shipping the price I paid from Costco. I do not know how long this sale is going to last. I'm thinking it's a Prime Day sale that's happening. So jump on that quick if you want that discounted price. I think I'm really going to like this. I will have that linked in the video description below where you can check it out on Amazon. I will have my video on how I made my own instant mashed potatoes right here. They are quite life-changing. Honestly, they turned out so good, so much better than store-bought. So check out that video if you are interested there, and I will catch you all on the next video. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen today.